Welcome back to another Quick Truth. My name is Derek Truesdale, and this week we're continuing our study through Ephesians chapter 6. This week covering still verse 14. And so last week we covered the belt of truth. This week we're going to be covering the breastplate of righteousness. So 6:14 says, "Stand therefore, having fastened on the belt of truth, and having put on the breastplate of righteousness." As we look at the idea of a Roman breastplate, when they were going into battle, they put this on. The belt was very important. It secured everything. The breastplate really protected the most vital organs. So you have your heart, you have your intestines, your liver, the things that you need to survive are all behind the breastplate. And when you think about how this battle worked, the Romans had short swords and they would attack each other, and they would not really go for the head because it's harder to hit. And they would try to go for the heart and the vital organs and the main part of your body here. So the breastplate was very, very important because it protected against those critical attacks where they're aiming the most, where they can get you quickest. So the breastplate was very, very important to have on and secured and in the right place. And it would protect you from the front and the back. So if you got an attack from the front, you were protected. And if you for some reason turned around, it would protect you from the back as well. So you were protected on all sides. And as we look at this, what a breastplate of righteousness really is here, what Paul's trying to say, is it's the righteousness of God. And that righteousness is not really something that we do or will do or have done. It is the righteousness of Jesus applied to us. So when God sees us, he doesn't see our actions. He sees Christ's actions for us. He sees his salvation for us before anything that we do. So this righteousness protects the heart of who we are. It protects our mind and our emotions. And this righteousness covers us from the attacks of the devil. So as we are going to face these things, we need to make sure that we have our mind straight and our heart straight, because in the biblical idea of your heart and your mind, it was kind of all tied up in here. You have your heart and you have your stomach, which is kind of where they say your emotions come from. So it is, the breastplate of righteousness. The righteousness is protecting the core being of who we really are. So we need to have those things straight as we practically live out this righteousness idea. But as we put this into practice, it's really not us fighting the battle. It's not us, making all these critical attacks. We are there doing the things, but it's really Jesus behind us. It's Jesus is the righteousness that's really fueling what's going on here. And it kind of reminded me of an illustration, if you'll forgive me. It's a children's cartoon, but it's Lion King. And you have Simba, and he's facing off against these hyenas. And he's roaring against them, and he wants his roar to intimidate the hyenas, but it's not going to because he's just not mature enough yet. But then as he roars, a mature lion's roar comes out of his mouth, and it turns out that it's Mufasa, his father, is right behind him and comes out and attacks hyenas and beats them up. And so as we face the world, as we strap on this armor of God, sometimes we feel like Simba, and we wish we had more maturity. We wish we knew more about the Bible. But it's not really our capabilities that count. It's the one that's behind us. It's the adult lion, it's God that comes in and actually fights the battle for us. So we shouldn't be intimidated by what we see here, because it's not us fighting the battle against evil, against what's out there. It is God fighting for us. It's God's righteousness that covers us and gives us a breastplate to protect us from the enemy. And as we think about this breastplate of righteousness, it's really important to have this on when you're in the battle. But an important thing to point out is we have to be in the battle. Like, if we're not doing anything, putting on the breastplate doesn't make any sense because you're not getting attacked. So if we're not using this armor, we're losing the battle, because the battle is happening out there. Are we going to be a part of it or not? We can get ready, but then we have to go out and do the thing. We have to be out and being active as a Christian to really make a difference, to really have this armor make sense. So we're either on offense or we're losing the battle. So we need to be out there doing things and trying to make a change. And this isn't just pointed to just one person. When Paul's writing this letter, he's not writing it to one Christian. He's not writing it to just you. He's writing to the Ephesian church as a whole. So he's saying not just the pastor, not just these Christian leaders should be putting on this armor, should be ready for the battle. He's saying that the entire church needs to be ready for the battle. You all need to be putting on the armor. Every Christian needs to be ready for this fight. Because I think we've all seen in our lives, when you try to achieve something on your own, you can do things. You can get things done. But it's amazing when you team up with some other people, how much more you can get done, because you see things from a different perspective. You can get more done on more fronts when you're teaming up with other people. So in the church, we can be lone Christians and get some things done, but as we team up with other people in the church and we all focus on one goal, it's amazing to see how much more that group can get done than just one person could get done. So we want to be all strapping on this armor, and we want to be encouraging others to be getting ready for the battle as well, to have this righteousness of Christ covering us as a cover as we get into this battle, and then being ready, but then also plugging into the battle, getting into it. So now we've covered the belt of truth that's securing everything. We've seen the breastplate of righteousness, and next week we'll cover the next piece of armor. And we've seen how this breastplate of righteousness, it covers us from the front, covers us from the back. We need to have this on. We need to have our mind and emotions straight, and have the righteousness of Christ cover us. And then also we need to make sure we're plugging into the battle and actually making this stuff make sense by getting into the thick of things and encouraging others to join us there as well. So this has been another quick truth. God bless, and I'll see you next time.